Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Royal Ramble podcast. I am your host, Zach Stevens, and we are here to review the episode of Smackdown Live from August 1st, 2017, out of Cleveland, Ohio. As always, guys, you can follow us on Twitter at Ramble_cast. Again, that is Ramble_cast. You can also check us out on our YouTube page. That is the premier place to listen to our podcast. It has the highest quality versions of our episodes, as well as our entire backlog, so you can check out all of our previous episodes over there as well. We are also on Podbean. If you want to listen to us on the go, on your phone, iPad, iPod, whatever it is, download that Podbean app and check us out over there at royalrambleradio.podbean.com. And of course, we are also on twitch.tv. Been streaming some games over there, awaiting the release of WWE 2K18, so I'm definitely going to be streaming some of that. So if you're interested in checking out any of that stuff, check it out over there at twitch.tv/royalrambleradio. Alright guys, so obviously tonight we have been waiting for this SmackDown. This is a stacked fucking card, easily one of the most stacked TV cards I've ever seen. The two main events that are going to be happening tonight are obviously Shinsuke versus Cena and AJ versus KO in that USA title rematch. In fact, this card is so stacked that I'm starting to actually doubt if we actually get these matches as advertised. Look, Cena versus Shinsuke, it feels like it's too good of a match to have on TV for free. So, before this show started, I was already expecting WWE to completely piss us all off after advertising this dream match and constantly reminding us that this match is happening, and then go out there and probably give us some sort of fucked finish, or have Baron Corbin interrupt, or maybe the Singh brothers interrupt this match. So, immediately, if we're talking about the questions before the show like we always do, that is my number one question. Will they actually give us Cena versus Shinsuke without some type of fuckery? The second question I would probably have if we go into tonight, it's obviously going to be about Cena versus, not Cena versus AJ Styles, KO versus AJ Styles. That seems like a match that they actually would give us on TV. So maybe this is the match that has no fuckery, and maybe this is the match that makes us feel better about getting blue balls when it comes to Cena versus Shinsuke. However, now that the show is complete and I know exactly what happened, they did not give us blue balls, and both of these matches were absolutely fantastic, and I'm so happy that they did not pull, Baron Corbin running out there and interrupting Cena versus Shinsuke. And I'm really happy that they let us have a complete match on TV without some type of interruption, and let us actually live out this story. So it's going to be interesting to see how they book this show, though. Obviously, that is one of my main questions as we headed into the show. Looking at Raw and how horribly shitty that was, and how the last hour was booked and it was basically entirely skippable. How are they going to book this particular show with these two main events? Are they going to save both of them for the very end? What are they going to do? Considering how horribly booked Raw was last night, I pretty much had zero faith. But, as always, Smackdown Live, the A show, always comes through for me as a wrestling fan and really reinvigorates me and makes me want to watch the product even more. So, let's go ahead and get into the review, guys. We start off with a really cool highlight package that basically starts off the show. Just kind of tells the story of each guy, of the two main events, basically AJ, KO, Cena, Shinsuke, showing a lot of different highlight packages for these guys. And then we kick off the show with AJ Styles music, and he comes to the ring, as well as Kevin Owens. So we kick off the show with the USA title match. And I absolutely love that WWE isn't fucking around here. They're giving us one of the main events right away. This is how you kick off a wrestling show with a big-time match like this. This also tells me right off the bat that Cena Shinsuke will be the final segment of this show, and it should be. Obviously, one of these should have been the main event, and they should save one of them for the end. They should give us something for sitting through the entire 2 hours. So I'm loving that it's kicking off with a great match, and I'm already looking forward to the next one. So already the booking is exactly how it should be. This is obviously going to be the face of America versus the face that runs the place. Are we going to get a battleground clunker, or are we going to get a legendary match? Let's find out right now. So the match starts. We started with loud AJ Styles chants from this Cleveland crowd before the bell even rings. Both guys start up in a couple of vicious headlocks. KO goes for a pin after a shoulder tackle early on, but AJ is able to kick out immediately. We come back from break. AJ runs right into a boot for a 2 count. JBL then goes on to say that that's how you get athlete's foot of the mouth, which, okay, JBL. AJ then hits a knee drop to KO for a 2 count. AJ then goes on to hit a suplex to KO. Then he stomps him down in the corner. Styles then teases the phenomenal forearm, but KO rolls out to the floor, completely dodging it, essentially. AJ then runs directly to him and hits the elbow after jumping over the top rope. KO then throws AJ into the barricade. He then hits him with a cannonball to the outside. We head to another commercial break, which that is probably the only bad thing about getting these great matches on TV, is that there are constantly commercial breaks breaking up the momentum and completely taking you out of the match. That is probably my only complaint about getting these legendary matches on TV, is the commercials, of course. We come back. AJ is unloading on KO with his signature punches. AJ then hits a neck breaker for a near fall. He then teases the Styles Clash, but KO counters it into a back body slam. Styles gets thrown to the apron, hits an elbow, then goes for the phenomenal forearm again, but KO again rolls out of the way. KO then hits a huge super kick for a very close near fall, and I swear this ref's hand nearly hit the mat for that 3 count. It was very close right here. Styles then gets the calf crusher onto KO in the middle of the ring. KO is able to break it up with a headbutt. KO then looks like he's going to go for a Styles Clash. So he's about to use AJ's move on AJ, but Styles counters and then hits the Pele kick. AJ then goes for the Clash himself, but then KO counters that as well. AJ then gets him back in the calf crusher. KO then teases the tap, but he finally gets to the rope in time to break the hold. Really great match so far. Again, all I'm thinking though is, how are you going to book something like this one night and then book Big Cass and fucking Big Show the other night? Completely blows my mind that we can have such polar opposites from the same company. It just blows my mind. Anyway, we come back. KO then hits a 2 super kicks back-to-back to AJ. He then tries to punch AJ, but AJ dodges and KO hits the ref. The ref sprawls out. He's completely out cold, so obviously we're heading to some type of fuckery already. KO then super kicks AJ, throws him off the rope, goes for the pop-up powerbomb, but AJ rolls him up. The ref wakes up at this point during the roll-up. 1, 2, 3. AJ wins. However, KO's shoulder was clearly up off the mat. Like, this was very obvious. Even the casual wrestling fan would have noticed that KO's shoulder was up. But the ref was saying he can't see because of the accidental punch by Kevin Owens. His vision is blurred, whatever. He couldn't see the shoulder was up. The trainer then comes out. He's attending to the ref. Mike Chioda's holding his eye. Kevin Owens is pissed. He pushes him. He's yelling at him in his face, asking him, what the fuck just happened? AJ, meanwhile, just exits the ring and leaves. So my thoughts on this opening match: fucking fantastic match to kick off SmackDown Live, and just a really great match in general. Look, I could have done without the 2 commercials, obviously, but, that's what happens on TV matches, man. There's no way around that. The finish, obviously, it was the fuckery. This feud wasn't going to end tonight, even if it was a clean finish anyway. These guys were absolutely headed towards SummerSlam for another rematch, regardless of what happened tonight, so I'm not too disappointed with that, because either way, this was a great match. And honestly, I expect nothing less out of these 2 future Hall of Famers. AJ retaining the title is also something that I'm pretty happy about. I think the title on AJ works best right now, even though KO has also been pretty great as U.S. champion. But I still think that with AJ winning it, and maybe going on to do the US Open challenges each week once, KO finally gets off his back and stops getting all these rematches. I think that's going to lead to some great television matches for SmackDown Live, and I honestly cannot wait for it. The US Open Challenge, I've said it before, man, it's one of my favorite gimmicks of all time, and if AJ Styles is the one doing it, look the fuck out, man, because we are going to get some phenomenal matches, pun intended there. We are going to get some phenomenal matches each week if he continues to do that. So, either way, guys, fantastic start to SmackDown Live. The A Show is back, and the A Show kicks off its show with an A-plus match. So, good stuff, even though the ending was a little fucked. Now, speaking of the ending, we immediately go backstage, and Mike Chioda, the ref that just got punched by KO and had the 3 count, missed the shoulder up, he's being attended to by the training personnel or whatever. Then Daniel Bryan and Shane come in, saying that they understand that he's hurt, but they have a big problem on their hands. Shane says, unfortunately, you made a bad call. KO then comes into the scene. He's fucking pissed. He's just wrecking everything, throwing shit everywhere. He then calls the ref an idiot, calls him incompetent. Shane then tells him that he should respect the ref, but KO starts freaking out and he pushes Mike Chioda down. Shane then says to never put your hand on an official. KO and Shane have this long shouting match here, going back and forth, that eventually leads to a rematch at SummerSlam with AJ. Basically, Shane just says, hey, you're going to get your rematch, okay? But KO goes on to say, that isn't good enough. He wants a ref with 2 good eyes that will see when his shoulder is up and when it is down. Then, this is when the whole angle that we thought we were going to get comes to fruition here, because Daniel Bryan comes in and says, well, he knows the perfect ref for the job, and it is Shane McMahon. So, obviously, last week they were sort of teasing some sort of tension between Shane and KO. So this is somehow to get Shane involved into this feud and obviously start his own feud with KO. Kevin Owens goes on to say that he's the worst of them all, referring to Shane as the ref. Then Shane tells KO to go cool off and he leaves. So my thoughts, so we aren't going to get Shane versus KO at SummerSlam. But I do think that after this SummerSlam match, something is going to happen so that Kevin Owens directs all of his hate and all of his energy onto Shane, and that will probably lead to their match. And I do think that Shane versus KO could have been a decent match. I mean, Shane McMahon has actually surprised me a lot lately. There were some matches that he was getting when he came back that I was kind of scratching my head at, especially the AJ Styles match at SummerSlam. That was one that I really wasn't behind, and I thought AJ Styles could have been used in a better position. But that match actually ended up being one of the best at WrestleMania. So Shane has proven that he can elevate himself to a whole new level, and I think him going against KO would actually be really fun to watch. And I think we will be headed there eventually, probably after this SummerSlam match is over and AJ and KO can finish their feud, and then it'll be KO and Shane from then on. Either way, though, I don't think AJ KO is the type of match that necessarily needs some sort of gimmick like a guest referee. But then again, this is SummerSlam, and everyone knows that WWE loves to put every single person they can on the card. They're just going to shove every single character onto this show, make it as long as fucking possible, and that's just how they do it. Overall, though, I think this was a great start to SmackDown Live, really pushing storylines forward and even creating some new ones along the way, teasing this whole Shane KO thing last week and then really cementing it even more with this new announcement that Shane will be the guest ref during their match. So overall, just a great start to the show. And what is still to come, obviously, things can only get better from here. We then go on, we have a highlight package of the New Day getting beat down last week by the Usos. Then they fade back to the crowd and we hear, "Oh, Cleveland." But you can immediately tell that is not Big E. It's actually one of the Usos. They come out, and they have a new version of their theme song. So I know last night when we were doing the Raw review, there were a lot of theme songs that either got remixed or completely changed. Seth Rollins, Jason Jordan, and Big Cass. All of them had a sort of a remix or a new song. And this also got one. The Usos have lyrics now to their theme song. and I actually liked it. I think this actually works for these characters. The lyrics, we're talking about the Uso Penitentiary and whatnot, so you can tell that this is something that WWE is making a concerted effort at to change up these theme songs for some reason. So, and actually, out of all of the remixes they've shown so far, I actually think I like this one the most. So, good stuff, and I think this really embodies the Usos characters here. So, anyway, enough of that. Usos come out and they say they had an entire stage looking like a cartoon last week, referring to the beatdown last week on New Day. They then make fun of the New Day for having cereal, ice cream, and, socks and all sorts of shit. They then say that they can keep all of that because they're taking the tag team titles and their catchphrase. They then start an "Ooh, so rocks" chant and then leave. I thought for sure that New Day was going to come out here and exact revenge on the Usos, but alas, they did not. This was very short, very quick, and overall just a decent promo out of the Usos here. I mean, they came out, they got to the point, and explained why they attacked the New Day last week. So, in the end, I thought this was a great segment, and honestly, I wish WWE would do more of these. Most of the time, when they bring someone out to cut a promo, they'll keep them out there for far too long, and the segment feels tired by the end of it. They'll have them go out there, cut a 15-minute promo, constantly repeating themselves, and then just basically buying time until the next segment. But this was a quick, easy, painless promo. It made sense, got straight to the fucking point. This wasn't like Enzo coming out here and spitting out bullshit for 15 minutes. This is the Usos clearly stating their plan, building up to a match, and leaving. And honestly, I would prefer more segments like this in the future. You don't have to have guys come out and cut these long-ass promos to get the point across. Just have them come out there, say what they need to say, and leave. Perfect. Anyway, we head into the next segment, and that is going to be a fashion file. So, after their absence last week, they are officially back, and I'm very glad to see that as well. This time, their fashion files is done in a Twin Peaks parody. Breeze is looking for Fandango after him being captured last week. Obviously, during their last fashion files, it was very spooky, and Fandango got dragged away by an unknown person. So, Breeze is officially launching an investigation to find out what happened to him. He goes to take a sip of his coffee when the lights turn red and Fandango then enters. Breeze then asks where he's been, but now when the camera cuts back to Fandango, the Ascension are shown with him. Then they start pouring syrup onto a piece of wood, and then they hand Fandango a rose. So obviously Breeze is tripping the fuck out here. He starts screaming, "Enough of the metaphors!" He then finally wakes up, which I kind of figured that's where they were headed. This was way too weird to be real. He continues to speak into the recorder that he's been using, and he says, "I know who captured Fandango." And then we get a "to be continued." So, really quick, and overall, just kind of a weird episode of Fashion Files. I'd say it was funny, but honestly, it was really more weird than anything else. I'm really not sure what they were implying with the Ascension, pouring syrup onto a piece of wood, or what the rose was all about. I'm really not sure. All of it was just kind of very strange, and I'm not sure if these were Twin Peaks references, or if this was supposed to be some sort of hint as to who committed the attacks on them. So either way, I'm glad these guys are back on TV again, even though this Fashion Files really wasn't a home run for me personally. I've definitely liked a few of the ones in the past a lot more, but the more important thing here is that I hope that Breezango can take these segments and turn the momentum they're getting from them into actual matches. They might be comedy, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they can't go out there and be legit fighters too. So I'm hoping that WWE doesn't forget that, and then eventually once they treat them like a real tag team and all this mystery stuff is done, they can go out there and actually have an impact, and I hope the crowd actually gets behind them. Next up, we go into our second match of the night. This match right here is the one that leaves me scratching my head the most. It's Aiden English versus Sami Zayn. Now, immediately you're thinking, alright, Sami Zayn will easily win this. No big deal. This is just a quick filler match. Let's get Sami Zayn on the card and let's have him go out there and win, right? Easy stuff. Well, English comes out. He does a very long operatic singing as he walks to the ring, getting booed, of course. It was very long singing segment here. He starts getting a "You suck" chant. Sami Zayn is looking at him the whole time like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Hurry up, get in the fucking ring. Which is probably the exact same reaction we all probably had on our face. You know, what the fuck are you doing? Let's hurry up, get on with it. Anyway, the match starts. They start up in a lockup. English has a shoulder tackle onto Sami. Aiden starts working over the arm of Zayn until he starts to counter. There's a couple of deep arm drags from Sami onto English. Then all of a sudden, English just rolls up Sami Zayn. 1, 2, 3. Aiden English wins. What the fuck? English walks away with a clean victory. Then we hear the power of love. Mike and Maria come out. They then just come out and they say that they love each other and they love that Sami lost. And then their theme song hits again and they leave. What the fuck was that? Honestly, what the fuck was this? Are we witnessing the burial of Sami Zayn? Is that what just happened? Are we opening up the coffin for Sami Zayn's career? Is that what we just literally watched? Because I thought the whole reason for bringing Sami to SmackDown Live was to give him an opportunity. But since he's come here, he hasn't gotten shit for opportunities. This was seriously one of the worst segments that Sami has ever been a part of. And quite honestly, I feel really fucking bad for this guy. This is the type of shit that they're putting him in. And this has to stop. I don't understand why WWE does not treat him like the superstar that he is. He is way too talented to be losing to Aiden fucking English and getting talked down to by Mike and Maria. I honestly question the booking here, and quite honestly, I feel a little pissed off that Sami Zayn is losing like this on TV. Look, this is going to be a highly rated episode of SmackDown Live. Considering those two main events, I feel like the ratings for this show in particular are going to be very high. And to all those casual fans that are tuning in for those main events, they just watched and they made Sami look like a complete bitch out there. So, in my opinion, Sami Zayn should have haluva kicked Aiden English to the fucking moon and won this match easily. That's what should have happened. But instead, WWE completely wastes his talent by having him lose to Aiden fucking English. Doing stuff like this only hurts his credibility. It's something that has been sorely lacking since he came to SmackDown Live. It's time to elevate Sami Zayn, not knock him down even more. So, I honestly do not know what the fuck is going on with that. Just complete trash, waste of a segment, and an even greater waste of talent considering Sami Zayn and the mishandling of him like this. That's just utterly awful, WWE. You've got to get this guy in a better position because right now, Sami Zayn is easily at the lowest part of the card right now, and that is wrong. That is wrong. All right, so we start the second hour, and we kick it off with match number 3. It's going to be a tag match between the women. Of course, you got to throw all the women into a match to get them all on TV. Typical WWE stuff here. And if I'm not mistaken, this is Carmella's first match since winning the briefcase. I could be wrong on that. And honestly, I would look the stats up, but honestly, who gives a shit? Commentary then tells us that James Ellsworth's suspension is officially lifted, so it has been a month already. However, he does not appear on this show, even though he tweeted out saying that he would be. I guess he just got the night off. Not really sure. There's probably really not a position for him right now, so that makes sense. Anyway, the match starts. Becky and Natalya start off this match. Becky has a deep arm drag into a kick. Natty then swings her into the corner. She tags in Naomi. Then they both have some nice tag team offense, ending with a leg drop from Naomi for a pinfall. Carmella then tags in herself. Naomi dodges a clothesline, then hits a series of strong style kicks to Carmella. These look really nice. She then does a baseball slide on her knees and goes in and slaps the fuck out of Carmella. Carmella then grabs Naomi by the hair. She tags in Natty as she drags her across the ring. Natty then goes for a pin, but Naomi kicks out. Becky sets up for the hot tag, but Natty knocks Becky off the apron, preventing it. Natty then gets the sharpshooter on Naomi in the center of the ring. Naomi is crawling for the bottom rope, but Natty drags her back to the center. She finally gets the rope break. Carmella tags in. Carmella then gets Naomi in her submission, but Naomi rolls Carmella up into her own submission. Natty comes in to break it up, but Becky meets her halfway, grabs her, hits the Bexploder, and Carmella taps out to Naomi. Naomi and Becky win. So, decent, quick match out of these women. Nothing really to write home about. I did think Naomi looked especially good in this match, though. She had some really nice intensity in the ring. You know, some of the shots she was giving to Carmella were straight strong style. These looked like they fucking hurt, and you could hear them on TV. And honestly, I think that's important, man, because Naomi, as it stands, really hasn't had that many matches as champion. So she needs to look as strong as she can as she heads into SummerSlam for her match with Natalya. Because right now, that match really doesn't have much heat on it. And Naomi really hasn't been on TV in many matches lately at all. So, hell, she wasn't even on the last pay-per-view they had. So, getting her a match where she can show why she is the champion, I think that is important. So, either way, though, I do think they have a long way to go storyline-wise before this match becomes interesting between her and Natalya. But Naomi coming out and having a strong showing, I do think that is important, and she looked good in the process. Next up, we have Renee backstage. She interviews Jinder, who is accompanied by the Singh brothers. She mentions that he will be facing the winner of Cena versus Shinsuke tonight. She then asks if there is someone he would prefer to face, Cena or Shinsuke. Jinder then goes on to cut an awful promo. It honestly looks like he forgets his lines here. He says, "It doesn't matter to me if it's the man from Japan or the man from America." Jinder then just goes on to say that he's going to sit in his skybox and watch the so-called dream match. He has another very long pause here, obviously struggling to get through his lines. He then says the only thing he is concerned about is that when he walks down the street, all he feels is xenophobia. And God, I'm already thinking, Jesus Christ, it's the same promo again. But then he goes on to say that only makes him stronger and prouder of his heritage. He says that he has destroyed all of our heroes, leaving us no choice but to respect him. He then says no one can end the reign of the modern day Maharaja. My thoughts, horrible promo from Jinder here. Like I said, I think it seemed like Jinder forgot his lines or something. I'm not really sure. There were very long pauses in between each line that he delivered. He kept looking at the belt awkwardly as he scoured his brain for the next line. So overall, I think it was just a bad promo. And honestly, I'm not really sure why they didn't just re-record it, considering this was a backstage interview, but I know sometimes they do those live, so who knows, man. Maybe Jinder just isn't strong on the mic, and this was the best that he could do. I really don't know, but I do find it interesting, though, that this interview took place, and he specifically mentions that he doesn't care who he faces. So immediately I'm thinking, maybe instead of Corbin getting involved in the Cena-Shinsuke match, maybe it will be the Singh brothers. Maybe he's going to have them interfere so that he doesn't have to face either one of them. But we will have to wait and see. They then go on to announce that we are going to be getting Rusev versus Chad Gable. And I'm thinking, damn, that's a nice fresh feud you got there, WWE. You got any more of those lying around anywhere? We could sure use some more. Either way, as soon as they announced this, my ears and eyes perked up. I immediately want to see this match. I think this could be a great starting feud for Chad Gable, and it is something that Rusev could use as well. You know, Rusev just got buried by Cena on his first big feud back, and that honestly did more harm than good for him. So I think getting him involved in something like this with Chad Gable, who's kind of the, de facto American hero right now, I think that would be pretty awesome, and I would appreciate it. I would love to see that some more. So, anyway, this match starts. Chad starts off the match really looking to get into that amateur style onto Rusev, immediately trying to take down Rusev by the leg, but Rusev just continually tosses him off. We have a USA chant here, so the crowd is obviously getting behind Gable for the most part. Gable, this whole match, is just trying to take Rusev down to the mat. He eventually does, and then he starts working on the left knee of Rusev. Rusev then has a huge suplex where he easily picks up Gable and just throws him overhead. We come back from break, and Gable hits 2 belly-to-belly suplexes onto Rusev. Absolutely incredible strength by Gable. God damn, that was awesome. He then hits a German, bridges into the cover. 1, 2, Rusev kicks out. damn, immediately I'm thinking, I feel like we missed some great stuff during this commercial break. I'm immediately disappointed, but either way, I'm loving this match so far. Gable then heads to the top turnbuckle, hits the moonsault. 1, 2, Rusev kicks out. So damn, this is a fucking great match. I love that Gable is really getting to show off his entire repertoire here. Just obviously showing off and doing a complete showcase of all of his moves. We start getting a Let's Go Gable chant. Rusev is super woozy at this point. He can barely even stand up. Gable then goes for another German, but he can't get it this time. Rusev then hits a super kick for a near fall, and I thought for sure Gable was losing right here after that super kick. Rusev then sets up for the accolade, but Gable slips away. He then gets the ankle lock onto Rusev in the center of the ring. Rusev starts teasing a tap, but he's able to kick Gable away. Gable then gets caught in the accolade again after another super kick from Rusev, and Gable, unfortunately, taps out. My thoughts, I really wanted to see Gable get the victory here. I think that would have been a huge first step in this guy's career. But either way, man, Gable put on a show for this crowd, and I've said it before, man, this guy is a fucking superstar in the making. I'm telling you right now, as long as he can figure it out on the mic, Gable is going to be fucking money. This was an incredible match, and Gable looks to be huge going forward. After the match, however, Rusev gets on the mic. He goes on to say that he was promised competition when he came to Smackdown Live. He says that he got Cena, but even though he lost, it doesn't matter because no one can beat Rusev. He then says he has no opponent for SummerSlam because everyone is afraid of him. Then they have a production error because then Rusev's own music hits, and he turns and he looks like he's shocked, like he thinks someone else is going to be coming out, like, you know, the typical music interruption, but it's his own music, so he immediately goes, oh, never mind. But then Randy Orton's music starts to play, so obviously a giant fuck up from the production crew here. They meant to play Randy Orton's music right there, but instead hit Rusev's music. They eventually fixed it by just playing Randy Orton's over the top of it. Then Orton comes out. Obviously, this just leads to Orton and Rusev. Basically, they just have a long exchange here. It ends with Orton hitting an RKO onto Rusev. So they make that match official, and we are going to be getting Rusev versus Orton at SummerSlam. Obviously, this is a filler match. There's no other way to put it. I mean, we're 3 weeks away from the pay-per-view, and they're putting this match together at the last second because they realize that these two guys have nothing going right now. So I am glad that it's not going to be Orton versus Great Khali. I know a lot of people thought that that was going to happen after that fucked finish on the Punjabi prison match, but I do find it refreshing that Orton isn't facing Jinder for the millionth fucking time. So as long as he isn't going against him, I'm happy and I'll get behind this match. So whatever, WWE. As long as it's not another Jinder Orton match, I'm fine with it. Anyway, it is main event time, guys. So yes, the dream match is happening. Cena, Shinsuke. Are they actually going to give us this match, or will some fuckery occur? Considering we just had some sort of fuckery in the opener, I'm praying that this will be a clean match to end the show. Cena comes out first. Then they show Jinder in the actual skybox. You know, when he mentioned that, I was kind of thinking he was just talking out of his ass. But no, he's in the actual skybox of the arena with the Singh brothers watching the match from above. Then Shinsuke comes out, and I'm already thinking, man, this is the biggest match of Shinsuke's WWE career right here. This is huge. Is Cena going to bury one of the greatest wrestlers of all time? Or will WWE actually let Shinsuke get a win over Super Cena? We will have to find out. But seeing these two guys in the ring together, once the lights came on and they're both staring each other down, this was just surreal, man. That's the only explanation I can give. This is just something I never thought I would see. I know that when WWE is saying, oh, it's a dream match, you know, they're shoving it down our throat. This actually is a dream match. This is one of those times where they can actually use that sort of verbiage because this is a dream match. Anyway, the match starts, and it looks like we are actually going to get it. We are actually going to get it. Baron Corbin is out here. The Singh brothers are in the skybox. No one is fucking with us. This is happening. Cena starts by twisting the arm of Nakamura after a long series of these guys kind of dodging each other and doing some taunting back and forth. We get a very loud "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks" chants as usual. Nakamura twists himself free, however, with a flip into a kip up. Shinsuke then hits a step up enziguri onto Cena, knocking him into the corner. Shinsuke then gets off the good vibrations. Cena then starts delivering straight shots to the face of Nakamura. Shinsuke then goes for good vibrations again, but Cena is able to power out of it. We come back from break and both guys are trading shots. Nakamura gets off a kick to the head of Cena as both guys are laid out. Shinsuke kips up into a series of kicks to the chest of Cena. He then sets up Cena onto the top apron. He hits the knee to the midsection, goes for a pin, but Cena kicks out in two. Nakamura goes for a reverse exploder, but Cena slips out of it. He then hits a few shoulder tackles, and then he sets up for the 5-knuckle shuffle. But as he's going to do the "you can't see me" part, Nakamura transitions him into an armbar. Cena, however, has his hands locked though, so he's preventing the armbar from being fully cinched in. Nakamura then transitions it into a triangle. Cena then proceeds to pick up Nakamura with one arm, puts him on his shoulders, goes for the AA, but he can't get it. Nakamura slips away, hits a facebuster, and then he sets up for the Kinshasa. He runs at him, but Cena gets Nakamura into the STF. Nakamura then counters into an armbar again, but Cena again gets away. We start getting "this is awesome" chants. Nakamura then sets up again for the Kinshasa, but Cena catches him in the AA as he runs at him, goes for the pin. 1, 2, Nakamura kicks out. Whew, I was thinking right there that, oh shit, that was the ending. We start getting huge yes chants from this Cleveland crowd. Cena then goes for another AA, but Nakamura counters into a guillotine. Cena then gets another AA, he hits it, but then he gets greedy. He does a roll-up, picks him up, goes for another AA, but this time Shinsuke counters the second one. Shinsuke then sets up for the Kinshasa. He fucking nails it. 1, 2, 3. Nakamura beats Cena clean. Nakamura will go on to face Jinder at SummerSlam for the WWE Championship. And holy shit, guys, I cannot fucking believe it. Absolutely incredible. I loved this match, and I loved the whole story that they told here. I loved how Cena got greedy, trying to go for a second AA, and that is why he lost. Going for the second one is exactly what did him in here, and Shinsuke took full advantage of it. And honestly, I'm still in shock, man. I cannot believe they just let Shinsuke go over clean on Cena. Absolutely incredible. What is this? What timeline is this? Did this sentence actually just come out of my mouth? Shinsuke beats Cena clean. Am I dreaming? Holy shit, guys. What an incredible match. What a great episode of SmackDown Live. I do think, though, that Cena Shinsuke will probably have many more matches down the road. And I hope so, because this is a WrestleMania main event. It has that written all over it. And having said that, I do think that this match would be even better on a pay-per-view. Obviously, no commercials, and they can really go all fucking out in their next one and have a longer match. So I do hope that we get this on a pay-per-view eventually. Either way, though, I honestly thought there was no way WWE was about to give us this match clean on TV, and they did. Corbin wasn't even on this show, and Jinder and the Singh brothers never left the skybox. They completely went the exact opposite direction that I thought WWE would go, and it could not have played out any better. Shinsuke Nakamura is going to face Jinder Mahal for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam. Can you fucking believe that? Because I'm still in shock. Oh, wow, man. What a main event. What a show. I do need to talk about this, though. This is one talking point that came out of the Cena-Shinsuke match. There was one very scary bump in this match right before that final Kinshasa where Nakamura hit an exploder and Cena basically landed directly on his neck. It looked very bad. I think Cena could have easily broken his neck right there, but in the end, he did seem okay, but still, it was very scary stuff. There's even some GIFs going around where you can see Nakamura going up to shake the hand of Cena after their match, and you can see him saying, "I'm sorry," and then Cena says, "Don't be sorry." So you can tell that both of these guys have huge respect for one another. Nakamura apologizing to Cena. You could even tell once he hit the exploder and started setting up for the Kinshasa, Nakamura had this worried look on his face, like he was checking on Cena to make sure that he was okay. So just fucking, man, these two guys are easily some of the best in the world, and it just shows how much respect they have for each other out there. So go back, rewatch this match, and see if you can pick up on those little details, because you can tell Nakamura even knew he might have fucked up with that exploder there. Overall thoughts, though, man. This show, look, it's going to be based solely off of those two main event matches that kicked off and ended the show tonight. There's no other way to look at it, man. That's what this show relies on, those two matches. Besides those, I think this show is what it is. It was pretty much just the show. But when you add AJ and KO and Cena Shinsuke to it, it becomes a great show. The first match, obviously, it did have some fuckery. I was expecting that tonight out of one of these matches, and I'm glad that WWE picked that one and not the last one, because it all makes sense in the grand scheme of things, and they're setting up for KO versus Shane down the line. So they were able to push storylines forward and make some new ones along the way. And I think that KO versus AJ at SummerSlam is exactly where we should go. You know, Shane being a guest ref, I think it is a little unnecessary in my opinion, but honestly, it's whatever. It's really not that big of a deal, but I do think that this is setting up for KO versus Shane probably at some point, probably at the next pay-per-view or maybe Hell in a Cell in October, something like that. The main event, though, guys, that was straight fucking fire. For being the first time these guys have ever faced one another, it was honestly a really treat to watch, and I'm still shocked by the ending. I thought for sure Cena would go on to face Jinder and, you know, get his 17th championship over the nasty foreigner, but no, they aren't doing that. Shinsuke Nakamura will get his first ever WWE title shot. Just simply incredible, man. I still can't believe that he won clean like that. I just love it, man. I'm so glad that WWE is giving this guy a shot, and they're putting him over the biggest name in the company. And how the match ended, I also thought it was perfect. Cena doesn't look weak by losing clean here. He got greedy. He wanted to go for that second AA. He wanted to make sure Shinsuke was out cold, but Shinsuke made him pay for getting greedy. I love that touch, man, and it made both of these guys look like $1,000,000. I do think, though, this match leaves us with an even bigger question coming out of this, and that exactly is, what is Cena going to do at SummerSlam? Who is left for him to face? We all know that Cena is going to be on this card. They aren't going to leave Cena off of a SummerSlam card. Absolutely no way. So, who will he face? The only other people I can even think of is probably Baron Corbin. He was eerily absent from this show, so... And quite honestly, I think that's the only person left that isn't on this card. So are we going to get Corbin versus Cena? I don't know, man. The other great match that I do need to talk about tonight before we wrap up this show was Rusev versus Gable. I thought Chad Gable really put on a show tonight, and I'm a little sad that he doesn't seem to have a presence on the SummerSlam card, because tonight it honestly proved that he is a superstar in the making, and he will be huge money down the line. I honestly wish that he could be going on to face Rusev again for a rematch at SummerSlam. I think I would prefer that over Randy Orton and Rusev just as a filler match, because, for one, Chad Gable kind of needs something like that, and for him to get on a pay-per-view card, it would really show the whole world that's watching this pay-per-view who Chad Gable is, and really put him in the eyes of a lot of people and maybe elevate him a little bit more. But instead, they're going to go with Rusev Orton, which I feel like we've seen a trillion times already, and it just screams filler to me. So, a little disappointed by that, but really happy that Gable was able to get on this show and put on basically a main event sort of match, man. I would say all three of those matches tonight were right there at the same level. They were all great. So, either way, though, man, this was a vast improvement over Raw last night. I could honestly watch this entire SmackDown Live episode again from start to finish, and I would still be 1000% entertained. And you will never hear me say that about an episode of Raw. After I'm done watching 3 hours of Raw, I'm ready to go to fucking sleep. That's how bad Raw is most of the time. So SmackDown Live is and always has been the better show. Just because Raw has had some that weren't complete balls doesn't make that the A show, guys. I understand a lot of people were preferring Raw the past couple of weeks over SmackDown, but not me, man. SmackDown is always the show for me. It is the show for wrestling fans, and it 100% delivered on that promise tonight. So, in the end, guys, fucking amazing. I cannot wait for SummerSlam now. Jinder versus Shinsuke for the championship. Holy fuck. What is this? Incredibly awesome. Great episode of SmackDown Live, and I cannot be happier with the direction that WWE is going. So, guys, that was our review of SmackDown Live. Be sure to check us out on Twitter. We're finally over 600 followers, which is absolutely insane to me. So thank you so much to everyone who's followed us over there and checked out the show from Twitter. Thank you so much. Of course, you can check us out over there at Ramble_cast. We're also on Podbean if you want to listen to us on the go. Check us out over there at royalrambleradio.podbean.com. And of course, we're also on YouTube. That's the premier place to listen to this show. So if you're listening to us right now over there, please hit that subscribe button, leave us a comment below, and hit that like button, man, because that means a lot to this show. So guys, that was our review of SmackDown Live. I am your host, Zach Stevens, and I am out. We will see you guys on Tuesday.